back to Dairy State Vegan. I'm Mariah, your Dairy State Vegan, and today I'm showing you how to make vegan French onion soup. Stay tuned. Alright, so one of my most favorite soups growing up was French onion soup, and I really wanted to nail down a good way to veganize this so that I could share the recipe with all of you. So we're going to cut up a whole bunch of onions, but first I'm going to melt 8 tablespoons of vegan butter. I'm using the Country Crock. You can use whatever you want. In a big soup pot, because we're going to fill this up with onions, but we want to have the butter, or you can use olive oil to kind of caramelize our onions in. Okay, now I have a 5-pound bag of sweet onions. I'm probably going to use close to all of them. So we're just going to start chopping them and then tossing them in the soup pot. You don't really need to dice these. You just want to chop them into slices because these are going to caramelize down, but they're also, I mean, literally the bulk of your soup. So you're not trying to hide your onions. So all you're going to do to cut your onions is you're going to cut them in half this way and then just slice them so you get little half circles. Then we're going to throw this onion in the pot and we're going to keep slicing. Okay, while I'm slicing, I thought it would be a good time for story time. So it's been a little while since I actually recorded a video. Life has been crazy. The holidays are always crazy for everyone. And then right after the holidays, actually New Year's Eve, Daxton got sick. He got a nasty cold. He's great now, but he was sick. He probably just started being himself again 2 days ago. So we had a very unhappy, miserable baby for a little over a week. So that made it difficult to film because 1, I was exhausted, and 2, every extra moment I had was spent taking care of him, suctioning out his nose. Let me tell you, the nose Frida, if you don't have one and you have a baby, get one. So, but because of that, I wasn't getting a lot of sleep at night because even when he was sleeping, anytime a baby has something respiratory, it's just a little scary. So I was having a hard time sleeping because I was getting nervous about him being sick. There was a recent YouTube mama that tragically lost her baby over the holidays, so that was on my mind. So then Dax being sick, it just made me a little extra scared. But in the midst of not sleeping, I started thinking about how my husband and I really want to buy a house. We're renting right now, but because of my job situation, when I recently lost my job, we can't really put my income on a loan for another year. So I really was just thinking about, you know, we have another year of paying rent or whatnot, and then we can look into buying a house. And I'm a real estate agent professionally, so I kind of know what's out there, lending programs and whatnot. And I started thinking, you know, what if we could just get Jeff qualified with just his income, not mine, for a house. And instead of buying a 20-year house, we find a house that we like, that we can put a little sweat equity into, because with just one income, we're not going to qualify for what we really want. We put a little sweat equity into it. We live below our means for a while, which would be wonderful because we can, 1, invest in the house, but 2, maybe take some more trips with the boys. But then at least we're building equity and we're not renting. So I'm thinking all of these things while Daxton is either up at night or I'm up at night because Daxton's sick. And I started thinking about where I thought approximately we would get approved for on just Jeff's income. And so then I started looking at houses that were in that price range on the MLS because I'm an agent, so I have access to it. And I thought we really could get a decent house for this money. So the next day I text Jeff at work and I said, hey, I need to know this, and this information. Certain things I knew, but like I don't really know how much we have in our 401k or whatnot. He's had that longer than we've been together. And I sent him some listings and I said, I think we should work on getting pre-approved for a house under your name and just see if we could do it. He's like, where is this coming from? So I told him, I said, look, we can build equity. I figured out at this price point, we'd even be saving money per month from what we're spending right now. We wouldn't be in our ideal city, but the city we're moving into now is literally like 5 minutes away. And Cody can stay in his school program because it's a countywide program. It's not only for the city that we live in now. So Jeff was like, okay, let's look. So I set up some showings. We go look at houses. We found a house that we like. We're super excited to get into it and renovate it. And we got him pre-approved, found a house, wrote an offer, and got an accepted offer all in less than a week. So that is where we're at right now. So soon, y'all are going to be seeing videos of me cooking in a different kitchen. Full disclosure, this new kitchen is nothing special. It will be once we kind of get our hands on it and can renovate it how we want. But that will be a process. But you'll see me in a new kitchen. Currently, the walls in this kitchen are yellow, which isn't awful, but it's not my summery green. So eventually we'll change the wall color or whatnot. But so it has been very, very busy in our household between a sick baby, the holidays, now we're buying a house. So I haven't been great about recording. And I am telling you all of this because I just want to thank you all, because even though I haven't been putting out as much content, my views have been so, so good. And my channel has not suffered. And I know that's just because of you guys watching my videos and sharing my videos with your friends, and I'm just super grateful. So just full disclosure, right now I'm going to be putting out one video a week. And it's probably going to stay out one video a week until we close on the house and get it all said and done, because I don't want to commit to 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week, and then disappoint you. I would rather say 1 video a week and then give you a bonus video from time to time. So you will be seeing 1 video a week from me for a little while. We should be closing on the house right around my birthday. Let me know in the comments below if you want to see a house tour once we are all done and dusted with it and get it off the market and get the keys. I will happily give you a house tour. Maybe I'll do a what we eat on moving day video if you guys want to see that. But yeah, so I wanted to come on here and give you a super yummy recipe and just give you an update on kind of our life and what's going on in our household and why you haven't seen quite as much of me on YouTube the past couple of weeks. I think we're about ready with the onions. There's a couple extra left in the bag, but I actually think we're going to have enough with the amount we've used. So when you're making a French onion soup, really just eyeball it. I think I'm going to end up using about 5 onions. You can use more or less depending on if it's going to be a side dish, if it's going to be the main part of your meal. We had a big lunch. I made lasagna last night, so we had like a big lunch. So dinner is going to be our smaller meal. So French onion soup is basically going to be it, which to me is perfect. I have seen some recipes where people add lentils into their French onion soup, and you could absolutely do that. I like it just classic. Just give me my classic, lots of onions, decadent broth, and then topped with crusty, cheesy bread. Now, I don't have oven-safe bowls or crocks, so while our onions are cooking down, I'm going to slice my bread, and I'm going to pop it in the oven and essentially make cheesy garlic bread rounds, and that's how we're going to do it. So if you haven't done French onion soup before because you don't have the crocks to bake it, to bubble it in the oven, it's totally okay. All right, so this is our soup pot right now. We've got about 5 onions in there, and this is the part that takes some patience because you're gonna want to slowly cook these down until they're caramelized, and it takes about an hour. So while these are cooking down in the stick of butter we put in there, I'm also going to be adding some minced garlic. This is optional, but I think garlic belongs in everything. So I'm actually just gonna finish off what I have in this container. You're gonna want about 3 to 4 tablespoons. And then just for while this is cooking down, I'm just gonna give it a healthy serving of salt and pepper as well. We'll add other seasonings and spices later on, but right now we just wanna focus more than anything on caramelizing our onions. So you're gonna leave this about an hour. You're gonna wanna come stir it about every 5 to 10 minutes to make sure everything is cooking nicely together. All the onions are getting an equal amount of heat. And this is gonna cook down quite a bit. All right, we are about 30 minutes in and going really well. They still really, you want them to caramelize, but you can see we have a lot of liquid here from cooked out of the onions. This is a really good start. So we've got about another 30 minutes until our onions are done, and then we will start assembling the rest of the soup. Okay, so while our onions are finishing cooking down, I'm gonna preheat the oven to 375. And because I don't have oven-safe crocks to finish off our soup in, I'm gonna make like little cheesy garlic bread croutons essentially to go into the soup. So I still bought a crustier bread because this is gonna sit in the broth, it's gonna get soggy, so you want something that can hold up to that. We're just gonna slice rounds, and then I'm gonna lightly drizzle this with olive oil, some garlic powder, and for our cheese, I picked up the Violife smoked provolone slices. You can use whatever you'd like. It would also be really good with the Miyoko's mozzarella. You could use the Follow Your Heart brand provolone, would be really, really good as well. I thought the smoked provolone flavor with the French onion soup would be really delicious. So that's why I'm using that. But you go ahead and use whatever vegan cheese is your favorite. I just recommend picking one that you know is a little extra melty. Daiya, their new mozzarella shreds are flipping fantastic. So I'm just gonna lay my bread down on a lined baking sheet. I'm just gonna put olive oil on the top part of it. Any excess oil I got on the sheet, I just kind of rub the bottoms into. You could like use a brush and do this all fancy, but I mean, you're putting it into soup, so it doesn't need to be perfect. Sprinkle some garlic powder just for some seasoning. It's super important with anything that you cook that you season every layer. If you don't, it's just how you end up with bland soup. You want to make restaurant quality food, season every layer. That's the trick. Then I'm going to take these slices and I'm going to put a full slice over each thing of bread. The hope is that it will melt down around our bread and kind of give it a little bit of a skirt so that when we put it into our soup, we'll have that same kind of cheese melted into the soup effect that you get even when you put it into a crock and cook it on its own. And it looks like we're one slice short, so I'm just going to have to eat this one. All right, I'm going to pop this into the oven at 375 until our cheese is melted and bubbly. You know, one of the things I'm most excited about with my new house is there's so much better lighting in there. It's so hard to film, and I always end up having to brighten this for you guys, so I can't wait till my videos are just such better quality. So we have our onions cooked down, and they're starting to get some good color. So now we're going to add just about 2 heaping tablespoons of flour. This is going to help give us kind of a rich, decadent, little bit of a heavier broth. So mix this into your onions. Once the flour is fully incorporated, there should be basically no liquid left in the pan because the flour should have thickened it. And then we're going to add 8 ounces of the red wine of your choice. Just make sure it's a drier wine and not a sweet wine. Don't go dumping Lambrusco into your French onion soup. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of vegan Worcestershire sauce. This is going to help to give it kind of the umami that it's missing from a traditional beef broth that you would use. And then we're also going to add some fresh thyme. So I'm just going to take my sprigs, tear off the leaves. You're going to want about a tablespoon total, but I always just eyeball it with these sprigs. You can also use dried thyme. You'll just use a little bit less because dried herbs flavor is more concentrated. All right, so once we've cooked some of our raw wine out, we've got this nice thick base. We're going to add some broth. So I like to do it 50-50. You can go ahead and do all vegetable or all mushroom if you want, but I'm going to do half mushroom broth and then half vegetable broth. We're going to stir it well. And we're going to let this sit here and kind of simmer on low for a while to really get the flavors to meld together nicely. Let them all play together nicely in the pool. I'm going to add a couple teaspoons of garlic powder. And then about a teaspoon more salt. We're going to let this cook for about 10 minutes till all the flavors really get a chance to play nicely together. I'm going to come back and taste it and we will adjust accordingly. All right, so here we have it, a beautiful bowl of French onion soup. I'm going to top it off with one of our crostinis and just add a little bit of fresh thyme to the top to make it a little extra beautiful and flavorful and fresh. And here you have a cozy, warm, comforting bowl of French onion soup, completely veganized. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. It was so fun getting back to the grind and getting back to recording and making delicious food for y'all. If you like this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below any cozy favorite foods you would like to see me veganize for you. I will be doing an air fryer chickpea recipe coming up in the next couple of weeks for all of y'all. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single video and don't miss kind of the process of my family moving from this house to the next and see our new kitchen. Thank you again for watching. You all are the best, and I'll talk to you next time.